pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Did you have a packet in your box? Does your packet have the minutes? I only have a draft packet.
Oh, let me grab your binder.
Ah, right. Which yours in your box? Yeah. Okay. Oh, did anybody see him? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pass on the minutes and leave them until next month. Because no one's had a chance to read it. Okay.
It's in
here. It's in here.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my
I thought that was
I showed him. I said,
Why
sure.
did you write? I didn't take the whole we did, but I decided. Yeah, the old check it. Photo, add out.
Well, we're gonna see him now. We're that short. Look good. We can move on.
Make a motion.
Changes? Comments? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? These are in a new order. Well. I knew the right order, right?
Are you in February or March? They're both in there.
Oh, okay. This is a new method. Thank you. Sometimes you're really gonna, you're so good, you have to re-educate me.
No.
Okay, just one is a resolution authorizing budget modification, Department of Social Services to fund eligibility verification assistant automated system. This resolution proposes to install this new artificial intelligence-based virtual phone answering system called the Eligibility Verification Assistant, or EVA. EVA's cutting-edge technology similar to those you encountered when you call an insurance company or a credit card company, but it's uniquely tailored to the task related to intake of DSF. We have 5 of them that will run simultaneously 24/7. They can answer callers' questions about how to apply, what's the status of the compliance application, and to be able to receive information and forward it to the appropriate staff. We just had an hour-long demonstration of the product, which was extremely impressive. And I would look for a motion to discuss. Got Brian for a second. Does anybody have any questions left after the info session we just had? Okay.
Just noticed reading through this is a budget modification. It doesn't actually work. It needs to be amended to the resolve to award contract to.
Okay, I will make a motion to be resolved that accepts the contract.
And updates the title to award professional service.
Okay, I'll have that motion. I'll second. All those in favor? Any opposed? One opposed. Okay, and further discussion on the amended resolution? All those in favor then? Aye. Opposed? Opposed. One question. Same any effect if the union have set up? Oh, yes. Well, we'll deal with that when it arises at this point.
That's why
Right,
I
right
asked,
now,
that's why I asked if this was something that they wanted. Yeah, and again, if you overwork, I sent it to him, my analogy is this, get out of the ditch, put the shovel down, I got it back on.
this will not displace workers in essence. Free up time of existing workers to hire ones.
Right.
And HS2, we're going to run through our resolutions and then I'll have you guys do your presentation for the imagining. HS2 is a resolution authorizing a budget modification to Department of Social Services to accept state funds for the rental supplement program. This is a budget mod accepting rental supplement program allocation for 24-25. The rental supplement program funds allow local districts to provide vital rental assistance to individuals and families who are experiencing homelessness or facing an imminent loss of housing. We've been allocated $432,808 for fiscal 24-25. There's no local share. Look for a motion to this. Okay, any questions or discussion?
Would this money that we receive on this, would this have any effect with the state saying, so you gotta take somebody homeless people?
From another area? From another area?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kitchen.
So this is a program that we administer through the Integrated Services team. This is actually the third year going into. This is a state fund that they receive from HUD to help supplement people within our community. So we run it, we administer it, we have one staff person that handles this. We take applications in of people who are on temporary assistance or fixed income and try to get them into permanent housing by utilizing this funding to get them out of those temporary housing places. But it's for local, and we monitor and approve those applications internally.
Other questions?
So these are people already existing and having difficulty?
Correct.
It's not new people walking into the office?
It could be a housing vulnerable person who walks in or a homeless person who walks in. Could also be people who are already in our temporary housing system.
Yeah, because my concern is we don't take care of everybody that walks in at this point in this county. So how do you make that determination? You set aside funds for them when they do become eligible?
So this funding is to supplement monies that they may receive from other income. So we do have some available housing in Oswego County, but it's not affordable for people who are in the lower income scales. So this allows us to supplement their income to get them up to fair market rent. So somebody who may be on a fixed income of $800 a month, a one-bedroom apartment is $1,400 a month, not cost effective on their $800 Social Security. we can pay that additional funds to get them into that permanent housing under this program.
So what happens a year from now, when we've run out of money and still in that $1,400 a month part?
We are not allowed to bring anybody onto the program unless we can approve them for an entire year. So when we approve the applications internally, we track that funding for an entire 12 months to make sure that the allocation lasts until the year is up. OTDA is currently telling us this looks to be an ongoing stable funding stream, that they will continue. But should we look at that going away, they're going to give us plenty of time ahead to let us know so we can create strategic plans to address that.
Okay, so then you have to move all those people into other income housing.
We're going to hope that doesn't happen. But if that should happen, we would have to address it just like we would have to address anybody else who might be in a housing vulnerable situation. Yes.
You know why I'm asking, because I deal with people.
Mm-hmm. And this is actually currently, the first year we did this program, we had about 17 households enrolled. This year, we're up to about 45.
Does that include the 17 that you had
Yes,
before?
they will carry over until they become ineligible. We've had people cycle in and out. So once they go on HUD, we take them out of this program, they're on HUD.
Okay,
So that's how we kind of move new families into the system and other families off of the system.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
Other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Pages 3 is a resolution authorizing budget modification, Department of Social Services to accept federal funds for non-residential domestic violence services. This is a budget modification to accept $33,735 in non-residential domestic violence funding for 23 to 24. The non-residential domestic violence allocation provides federal funding for enhanced, expanded for, and/or non-residential domestic violence services to families with children whose income is at or below 200% of the poverty level. These are 100% federal funds with no local share, so it's budget neutral. And the concept of non-residential means that they are just not in a residence that we're taking care of. That it's not, and it doesn't mean that they're from out of state. Look for a motion.
Good.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Passes. Page S4, resolution authorizing budget modification, Department of Social Services for their Laserfish upgrade. This budget modification to upgrade the Laserfish to Rio. Does Rio stand for anything, or it's just their name? It's not an acronym. The Oswego County Laserfish system was recently upgraded from another Laserfish, Monte. The upgrade allowed the use of Laserfish across 4 county departments, Treasurer, Health, Records Center, and DSS to be managed in one system, eliminating the need to have separate administrative licenses for each. So this is, you can see from the budget modification where we're moving the lines from. And this is budget neutral because the bill was moved. I have a motion to discuss.
So,
Any questions?
molding of the each system. You got different pieces. This is all in program now?
Yes, it's digital, it's like a digital archive. So,
That's a good question.
they're all scanned into a advertisement.
Any other questions?
Sent to the phone.
All right, all those in favor? Any opposed? Page S5 is a resolution authorizing budget modification to the Department of Social Services for overtime. As everybody knows, the SS staff has been working additional hours in some instances overtime to meet the demand of increased workloads due to increases in program needs and unfilled vacancies. The non-services wages are reimbursed at 50% federal, 25% state, 25% is local. The local portion for this budget mod is being moved from underspent salaries and wages. The total is $95,000, which is, we're hoping this takes us through the year. So I'll look for a motion to discuss.
Make the motion.
Kurt, Jay, any questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. 6. It's a resolution authorizing budget modification Department of Social Services to accept state funds for the Safe Harbor program. This budget modification is to accept $35,000 in Safe Harbor funding for 2024. Safe Harbor allocation provides state funding to support advanced programming to address the needs of trafficked and commercially sexually exploited children and youth in Oswego County. This is 100% state funds, no share. The funds are used to contract with the Child Advocacy Center to facilitate a collaborative response to exploited children and by Oswego County's other health and human services agencies, medical providers, and law enforcement. For a motion to discuss. Second. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? If you're okay, Sarah, we'll hold your appointment to the Office of the Aging to review or take your report. And at this point, would you introduce yourself and we're going to talk about? So I'm really happy to have been part of the first funding of this through and development of this through our Poverty Task Force and the Alliance for Economic Inclusion. Really been one of probably the single most successful program. One of the key findings of all of our anti-poverty work was if you have children able to read at grade level by 3rd grade, they're going to have a heck of a lot better chance of making it in high school. And to that end, this is a fantastic program. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you. My name is Andrew Oswego. I'm the program coordinator for Imagination Library of Oswego County. With me is Patrick DeWine and Mike Legan. They are the co-directors. And of course, you guys know Brian Chetman. He's on the advisory board for this program. Brian and I provided earlier some packets, some items in your agenda.
They are in the packet.
Look at those at your leisure. But included in that is our monthly report from January of 2024. There's also information about how the program works and some of the research behind the program. And for those, there's also copies of the slideshow with you right now. We have additional copies there. But yeah, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library is a book gifting program that mails free high-quality books each month to children from birth to age 5, no matter their family's income. We believe that literacy must begin at home prior to the child beginning school, and that shared parent-child reading leads to a higher achievement in elementary school, but also it boosts a greater enthusiasm for reading and learning. There are 94 affiliates in New York State alone. Our affiliate in Oswego County was replicated by the Literacy Coalition of Oswego County in partnership with the United Way of Oswego County. The United Way acts as our fiscal agent. They provided their 501c3 status, but we are not a funding project of theirs. Literacy Coalition is responsible for the promotion, enrollment, and the fundraising for this program. A little history for you, as the chairman mentioned, that we were awarded a grant of $250,000 in 2017. That's what kickstarted this program. In 2018, we began enrollment in the Hannibal School District, and throughout 2019, provided the program countywide for all the other school districts. And our couple of milestones there, but our most recent being we achieved 50% of enrollment for eligible children in the county this past January. And to date, we have delivered over 130,000 books to children across the county. This is as of February 29.
Super impressive.
And we're forecasted to deliver over 170 by the end of this year. The program, of course, serves families across the entire county. The numbers continue to grow. We started with 35 children in November of 2018. Since then, we've served over 6,000 children, and over 2,000 have graduated. And we're pretty proud about the stats that since 2022 to 2023, we saw a 62% increase of enrollment. We use the eligibility for the program is the child and the family must live within the Oswego County School Districts, and we use the Census Tract and the Census Bureau to monitor where the children are residing. We also use the poverty status viewer to kind of compare the enrollment rate and the poverty rate. Just highlighting a couple of the tracks here that we focus. You may recognize some of these are some of the districts that you serve. But this program is designed to inspire love of reading and provide a boost towards a successful education, regardless of socioeconomic factors, risk factors, parental factors, or any other criteria. We've done our research and we've looked at the different tracks, and out of 14 tracks that are identified as high poverty level, we're serving an average of 53% of children in those 14 tracks. And the 9 tracks that are identified as possible high poverty, we're serving an average of 48% of children. These books are delivered right to the door of these families, which means they can have a small library right in their homes, having direct access to these literature materials. It's free to the families with no cost, regardless of the household income. We work closely with the school districts to find out the impact of this program. What we do is every year there's the annual learning and fluency test. This test is done throughout the school year. We focus primarily only on the very first test administered in September or October. What we're doing is comparing the test results of children who were participated in the program versus children who did not participate in the program. And we're pleased to say that 8% more children who participated in the program scored in the Add and Above benchmark versus children who did not participate. And we actually saw 11% fewer children who participated in the Imagination Library scoring the well below versus only 57 who did not participate in the program. We're also seeing an impact right at the homes. We send out a monthly survey to families when the child graduates from the program. Children graduate in the month of their 5th birthday. And one of the questions we ask is just how often are they reading at home? And before joining the program, we have those marked in blue, and in orange marked in orange it's the result for how much they're reading at home after joining the program. And there's a 15% difference between reading more than once a day between before and after the program. So we're seeing a positive impact, we're seeing a positive impact right at the home, and also seeing that participation in this program is positively impacting reading readiness for these children. Of course, our goal is to maintain our 50% enrollment. Ideally, we'd love to have 100% enrollment. We'd love to have every child that lives in Oswego County be part of this program. But of course, securing reliable funding is fundamental for this program to make sure that it's sustainable and that we can go for years to come. The annual cost per child is about $30, so about $2.50 per month. That includes the book and the postage. Our average invoice is about $6,800, and kind of a common misconception that Dolly Parton is paying for all these books herself in her pocket. Worldwide, about over 200 million books have been mailed, so I think we can put the math that there's no way she's paying for all those books. But so the funding does come back to our program. It is our responsibility to promote it, enroll, and fundraise for the program. So just for books and postage, our budget for this year is $81,900, and you can see what our total budget is for my salary, marketing, development, and operations to maintain this program. But of course, we couldn't do this by ourselves. We have support across the county, whether financially or whether with the enrollment and the promotions of it. As we discussed earlier, the Alliance for Economic Inclusion did provide us a grant of $250,000. That was $50,000 a year for 5 years. We're currently in that 5th and final year, and the fund actually should be exhausted by the end of this month. So we're nearing the end of that. But due to the success of the program, AEI actually awarded us an additional $60,000 in 2022 with the stipulation of spending that by the end of 2023. And we received those unused grant money from other grants because of the program's success and how well it's performing. Community partners, of course, these these organizations and agencies, they're helping us with the enrollment and promotion. Specifically, I want to highlight the Oswego County Department of Health and Department of Social Services, mainly because they're helping us enroll children right from birth, getting children into the program as soon as they're eligible. You can sign a child up the day after they're born, and they can be in this program for the full 60 months, which means they get 60 books for their entire time. And of course, Oswego Health is a new partnership that we started with. That began in November, and we've already seen about a 4% enrollment rate with them, and we're seeing about a 5 to 6% enrollment rate with the Department of Health and Department of Social Services. So these are groups that we're working with, and we're always constantly looking for new partnerships and alliances to continue this program and spread awareness of it across the county. I just want to highlight our website. We do have a dedicated website for our program. We also have our own dedicated fundraising page. If you're on Facebook, personally, I ask you to come follow us on Facebook and keep track of what we're doing and the progress we're making. And in your packets is a report that we do every single month. Particularly in your packet is the one from January of 2024, but I'm happy to provide that to you each month if you like, or I can provide that with Brian, provide that for you as well. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them along with Patrick and Mike. But that is all the information I have for you today.
If you, for those of you that have this, if you look in their report, you can actually correlate your locality with those numbers to the number, to the track number to the location. You can actually see what's happening in your own community with this. And, you know, the fact that we're now in every school district in the county, it's just, Patrick, thanks for, and Brian, for being a part of that right from the beginning. I think it's super. I'm hoping that you know, let us know if any way that we can help after the AEI funding runs out. I'm still, Tim Stahl and I are still on the the Alliance for Economic Inclusion, and it looks like there might possibly be some money left at the end. So with your track record, you want to make sure you're still talking to them. Because if there is anything left, I mean, we're going to try to move it. I can't guarantee anything. I think programs that have proven themselves to be as effective as yours should be a pretty easy sell if there's anything left. Thank you. Any other questions? Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you very much for your time.
Sorry we delayed you. Sort of unanticipated. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Boozer, we're going to put you up first.
So I contacted my youth college, get that work ready. And they contacted me and they actually have a adult learning and non-traditional students program. And they was asking if we were interested in working with them on that. I told them absolutely not. It's for individuals to learn new skills or to improve on the skills that they have in order to improve their ability. The first annual Oswego County Community Service Provider Expo is coming up, so we will table and present at that event as well. These flyers here. This is just letting people know when we're available, where we're available, your locations, times. One of those was mailed out to every town, village, and city office. So if you want to, you can take more than one if you'd like. And this is more as that attempt to try to get more people to, especially the Glasgow. Glasgow office is still our least busy place for the month. A lot that's changing in the VA hiring event, and now according to their news brief, they are at 100% capacity. I don't know how much I believe that, but planes should start moving faster. They've also been doing a lot of work with the PAC Act. So this is that's going around now. This is a list of all the locations that are in the PAC Act. And one of the things that a lot of people, when they hear PAC Act, they think Vietnam. There are younger military members or veterans that, they talk about post 9/11. But there's actually a lot of places that are already involved in the PAC Act that some of the veterans aren't aware of. So we're going to try to get that information out. The second and third page, the VA is looking at proposed locations. These locations are within the United States where Agent Orange was either used or stored. The thing with the proposed is because it's not part of the PAC Act yet, it's not presumptive. So any condition that they have, their VA doesn't automatically presume it's from Agent Orange. It doesn't mean these individuals cannot apply. It's just now we have to provide the VA with proof that whatever condition they're applying for was caused by their being exposed to Agent Orange. We're hoping that that gets added to the PAC Act. That way those conditions become presumptive. Email I got today, and this is going to be huge for the veterans in the county. The VA is expanding VA healthcare. Used to, you had to apply for it unless you were applying for benefits. And that was based off of your income, when you served, whether you served during combat or not combat. The VA is now opening that up to anybody who served in combat, regardless of whether they're already receiving benefits and regardless of their income. They're also anybody that non-deployed people that were exposed to toxic chemicals. And an example of that list that I was talking about, it's opening it up to them too. We're talking hundreds of thousands of veterans starting tomorrow will be eligible for VA healthcare. We used to have to fill out a form, then you had to provide income proof, you had to go through this whole deal, and they don't have to do that anymore. You still have to do the form, but a majority of that form will be null and void because of their service. So you don't have to be a Vietnam veteran collecting 20%. You don't have to be from the Gulf War at 30%. If you have nothing wrong with you, but you want VA health care, as long as you're deployed or you're exposed to some kind of chemical, VA has opened it up to those individuals. The VA determined that their health care is the cheapest and best health care out there for the cost. I'll make sure I added that part, for the cost. So that's going to be used. I foresee a lot of people coming to our office for this one.
You're meeting with Rachel tomorrow, talking about the work-ready communities and trying to find ways. We're working on a way to roll out that news and probably looking at having an event at city BOCES to roll out. Hopefully in June, we're looking at a date. We're looking at an event that would introduce what a work-ready community is, what it means to the community, how businesses can get more involved, how businesses can utilize it better, and then how it affects individuals. And then we're looking to maybe have a couple of tables with like a little breakout session. So there's a table for businesses to find out how do I sign up, or how can it help me, a table for people to come if they're looking for a job or looking to take it to improve their position in a place, to have that info about people who can take the assessments. And then we're actually looking at maybe having a couple of employers there as well that are utilizing it. So we know that Budimaki, for example, uses it in their hiring practice. And so we're hoping to not only have Austin Wheelock and Rachel speak, but we're also going to have at least one kid that went through it, took the assessment, got a job with right out of high school using the assessment. I think it. So we're going to try to make a little bit of noise about it, and try to get more businesses involved. I did end up, after the Chamber of Commerce luncheon, by accident, I ran into the speaker from Micron and had a long discussion with him about it. He said they were in the process of signing up as an employer that's going to utilize it, and that they were excited about possibly even doing some of you can create your own stylized assessments that are just for your business. So I think it's going to be a good thing, and I'm glad we're able to get together with you to help utilize it for veterans. Any other questions for Eric? Thank you. Yeah. Reports.
I was a Korean Development song back in 77. That's when I was there. Would that change your priority? Say I'm a priority man. You're in that. Would that change it up to a higher priority?
That I'm not 100% sure. I don't even know exactly how that priority thing works at the hospital. I mean, that's way above my head on how they break that down. I would assume with the income not being a portion of it anymore, it would be in a higher priority. The priorities are more for if an individual can afford health care somewhere else or can have health care somewhere else, then they'll put them in a lower priority where they'll have to pay higher co-pays and that sort of thing. So, but I'm not 100% sure that it'll change anything if you're already in it.
We are in need. I just wanted to bring it up at the meeting. I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot here on the committee, but anybody who has served before and would be interested in being the new Veterans Advisory Committee chair, it'd be great to have somebody from this committee do it. I'm not asking anybody to volunteer now, but if you are interested, give Eric a call and talk to him about it. It's something we really need to get back off the ground. It was pretty active when Brad Trudell was involved, and we want to try to get it back. I think it could be really helpful. That's the Veterans Advisory Committee. We need a new chairperson. Okay, over to Sarah. Let's start with Sarah. In the packet, you had an informational memo regarding the appointment of members to the Office of the Aging. I did put this out to the committee, and also Legislator Lockwood may be interested. I emailed her information about it, so I told her to contact you if she wanted to take up the legislative stuff.
I haven't heard anything yet, so.
Okay. Well, I just emailed her on Friday, I think, so. Yes, that's to her. So, you have a list of advisory council recommendations, and all of them are reappointments.
Correct.
And do we need a motion to accept this? Probably best, right? Make a motion to accept the slate that Sarah has provided. So, got a first and second. Any discussion? All's in favor? Okay, you can go on with your report.
All right. Well, we've been busy at the Office for the Aging trying to schedule hours in the community, so I do have these I'm going to pass out. We have our regular community hours. We've increased some of the locations as well as the frequency we're in the community. We have high cap our insurance counseling more often in the community now because it's hard to provide confidentiality and privacy where we're located, and also our New York Connects. So those are 3 different flyers in here, and we're going to see how it goes. And if we have to shift to other locations of the county, we will shift to other locations if you're seeing there's not people attending. We are requesting that appointment are made. It's not just walk in because it's hard to address everyone if you just walk in. You don't want to have somebody come to them and be frustrated that you're unable to assist them for any time slot that we have. So we know that this fall is going to be issue for us because of enrollment. We had 2 insurance counselors that pretty much from October to the middle of December are back-to-back appointments. So, seeing where we are in the community, we're gonna see if they'll work with us to be able to be there for a whole day. It's not a couple times a month. Then also looking in the county to see if there's any other place that would involve better confidentiality, computer access, be able to do also, starting next week, we have our new transportation. So that's the top flyer that's on there. Our out-of-county transportation for seniors to doctor's appointments. So this week, we're going to be doing some tests through the system. I'm not concerned about us scheduling a ride to get out to the doctor's appointments. Once they are there, they do have to schedule their return trip though, so I'm more concerned about that. So we're going to be doing some test trips with people to see how the system works. It's GoGo Grandparent. GoGo Grandparent utilizes Lyft and Uber. So we don't have to do a two-day pre-registration. We can get them registered for a trip. Within 30 minutes, they can have that trip scheduled on the road. There's no financing coming from the county. We're working off of a state office for the aging grant or pool of money that's earmarked for Oswego County. So we just keep spending down from that money that's in the system, and it'll be there for us for as long as it takes to use the money. So there's no time frame for us to utilize all the money. For the first couple of months, we're going to schedule anybody who requests it to see how frequently it's being used. If we find that it's being utilized very quickly, we may have to limit it to so many rides per month. But right now, we're going to just, anybody who's in need of those rides to those doctor's appointments, we're going to just go ahead and schedule them. Is there any questions at all on that transportation? That is an area that has been a gap for other elderly. And it's not for anyone that does have Medicaid transportation, it's just for those who do not have Medicaid transportation. Because anybody who does call us, that it's identified as Medicaid, we will refer them to Medicaid assistance services because they should have that option available to them.
Can you forward this via PDF?
Sure. The only other thing I have on here is you know that we've had Living Health notification system since last spring. We have added all of our client base into the system now. They will be getting another 3,100 people will be getting phone calls this month welcoming them to the system. And at that time, if they don't want to be a part of it, they can opt out of it. But this is to get every older person on the notification system. So if we have to do a blast email out or a notification out if there's a public health emergency, if a full notification that we have to get out to everyone, we'll be able to do that through our full database. And it can either be a text message, a phone call, or an email, whatever they identify as their preferred method of contact. The system can also do it in other languages. If what happens is the first message comes out saying, please listen, it's from me, my recorded voice saying, Sarah Sunday from the Office for the Aging, please listen to this important message. And then it's, AI voice after that takes what I type to find out. Used it this past week when we had the weather incident. We had 2 home delivered meal routes that were closed, so we had targeted people within the system as well to let them know that the meal route was closed. Please access or utilize their shelf-stable meals for that day. And this is being, the cost of it is going to be covered by the city office for education right now, so it's no cost.
I just want to make the community aware, express my gratitude and compliments to Sarah and her staff. Everything that you just heard is being provided. They are doing, despite being displaced at the temporary quarters of Butter Street is underway. And I know that that's probably causing some difficulties, but I just wanted to thank you for what you're doing under less than ideal circumstances. I'll be worth it for you with your office.
Yeah, well, I mean, we fought really hard, advocated for space down there, so we're making do with what we have, because we know it's going to be better.
So what's the status of the new meal site? Is that,
The last guy said.
yeah, you're still having some problems with it, you said?
Well, there's not as many in attendance as we had hoped. We were hoping for a daily census of 15 people. It's about 6 or 7 people. OCO is out, so the community trying to get additional people to attend.
Which one is the biggest, right?
So I swear, their daily census is probably between 25 and 30 people.
And that's twice a week there, or just
They are 3 days a week.
3 days a week?
Yes, their transportation is 2 days. They're
Okay. Great. Brian, it looks like you were slated to be first here with the Imagination Library, so you got moved in. So I'm promoted. I'll let you go now.
Thank you. All right, so I'll make it quick. So for Camp House right now, we have about 21 of 36 positions that are filled. We're still looking for some kitchen staff, one nurse, a lifeguard, some day camp counselors for those who maybe don't want to live out there, evening security. We have 230 registrations to date. Last year at this time we had 209, so a little bit ahead of ourselves there. During spring break, we're going to have a fun week of different things happening at house, including we're going to have an overnight lock-in. So I'll have flyers on that soon. But things are going well there. I don't think I have the handout for house right now. Camp Zerby, so things are going really well there. We hired our director, which we're really excited about because she was the Camp House director for the last 2 years, so very experienced because she lives out that way. So she's going to be the new Zerby director. Great. Still looking for some counselors that we'll be looking to hire. We did have a press release that went out recently. Okay, so I'll pass that around. A press release that went out with me talking about our summer camp. In the position we're hiring. We just literally opened registration for summer camp. We have about 5 per week signed up already. So things will start to take off with the registration out there. The Frisbee golf that you approved last month, we're moving forward with that. Things are looking good there. We have our trails that we're continuing to develop. So we have a new maintenance position that we hired for Parks and Rec, and that has been devoting some time up in Jersey, helping to put the new trails together. So things are starting to really take shape out there. The snow is melting, so we're good with that. We didn't get enough snow to do our snow maze this year, but I guess that's good or bad, whether you like snow or not. Moving forward, and I do have a flyer that was designed for Camp Zerby, but my staff only gave me a couple of them, so I was going to give those to Legislator Irvin when the time comes. Exciting news, Legends. So you can see a flyer here. It's got a little QR code on there that you can register if you want to participate in Legends. We have 31 girls signed up for softball so far, up to Legends. On March 11th, the turf is coming, so we're excited about that. On Wednesday, the contractor will be back up there patching up the work that they did in the fall, getting it ready for the turf to go down. We have some meetings set up there to go along with that. Let's see here. We have been having some communication with some of the school districts who in using of the fields as well, that, as we all know, even though it's been a pretty mild, knock on wood, winter we've had, that if you have a spring sport, a lot of times you struggle getting the ball off the ground, for lack of better words. So Legends is something that we've been communicating with the athletic directors to kind of let them know that it's a potential possibility for that, so they can get their games in as we go forward. Let's see here. We've been working with the Workforce Development Board on reestablishing our trail crews for this summer. Also, I've been working with Rachel and Jimmy Tucker on a youth advisory council that we're putting together. That's going to be a collaborative team. So stay tuned for that. You'll see that one of the committees we work with is in Hannibal, and they're having their second annual Easter egg hunt. So I'm going to pass that flyer out there for you. We also had mini grants. The deadline just recently passed, but we've been working with a lot of not-for-profits in the community to help assist with different programming. And I guess an example of that is we've worked with the menstruation libraries for different times for going along with those. Our traveling arts and parks, and if you communicate, within your municipalities, that we're able to assist with summer entertainment. Anything from musicians to different kind of specialty music and different kind of performers. We'll be working along with that. If you know me for being here for 20 plus years, I don't work with clowns. So anyways, our pros program at the middle school has really been taken off a million times. Recently did an article about that I can pass around, that they wrote an article about the program, and it's interestingly enough written by the writer was actually a youth board member, one of my first youth board members. So he said our youth summit is going to be on June 5th. Continue to share the flyers. You can come see Legislator Karasik try to get 500 eighth graders to listen to him to where to go on a given day and move forward. We did use some interesting thought processes here, and these young ladies over here in the corner got a lot of pressure on them. This year, one of the focuses we're going to have is focusing on working for Oswego County, in particular DSS. So we are going to get some of our young people and try to steer them in the direction of say, hey, why don't you work for the county? Why don't you work at a place like DSS? When I say, whatever, I challenge them that way. You have eighth graders, their attention span can be short. So you have to, and they promised me they're going to have some good, and they've kind of given me an idea of what they're going to do in academic work. So we're working along to, maybe you have retirement, not like before that one hits on, but, so we have that in the plans to work along with that. We're also doing a new summer fun program. In the past in the city of Oswego, we've worked in the parks, but this year, as most of you are aware, we had a new superintendent at Oswego, and we're working along with him to open up a school this summer, and we're going to do a couple of days at a school and a couple of days at Legends to run some summer camp, have summer feeding, local deal, all those different things happening. It's nice to have the school district involved because then we have a site for rainy days as well as those days when it's hot. Our Splash into Reading program has had a lot of success as we go forward with that. I don't have any really up-to-date stats. We also have another Easter meet and greet. Fred the dog will be there, and this program has grown over the years to back in the day where we used to have to have Legislator Berger run security for us and get his money's worth to keep people in line, which, sometimes they may have almost got the best of them. I don't know if they did. But we have that event coming up as well. And then finally, I have a list of some of our AmeriCorps sites that we have set up for the summer so far. So again, if you have somebody contact you who are looking for a summer job, again, there's some opportunities for them right here to be able to work. And that list will continue to grow. But that's what we have set up so far. So I think that's about it for that.
I just wanted to add that Brian and I had a very passing preliminary conversation to maybe we see if we could do a senior softball tournament. So more information to come on that, hopefully.
Right. anybody is interested in playing and you are a senior, which I know that we didn't set an age group thing. I know you go to senior camping at like 50, so.
Questions for Brian?
Yes, sure.
Bathroom that can't service, where are we setting that bathroom? If the bids come out, they're a little higher than we thought. What do you have, what's our next step?
I have a meeting tomorrow with Bill Hadler. So he's going to give me an update as to different pieces of where he stands on different approaches to that. And then Friday, we are going to be meeting back here, a select group, to talk about what happens in that meeting tomorrow and where are their next steps. Maybe we've thrown a couple ideas out there that I've been talking with them a little bit on some different options that we can look at. But that's what we are right now. Yeah. Plans, just need to figure out that last piece. Okay. Okay, any other questions?
All right, Stacy, Marty, you guys are up back.
Welcome, it's nice to meet you.
Thanks.
And thank you all for supporting what we put forth today. I was pleased to see that the commissioner's job is posted because I will not be coming back, Brian. And I want to assure you, I told you I'd have an annual report out today. I got a little sidetracked with actually your attorney, I spent a lot of the documents they wanted, so I'm like kind of focused on prioritizing that. But at 3:34 yesterday afternoon, I finished the annual report, so I'm like, yay. It's very labor intense, and I need the directors of DSS to now look at how I can synthesize this info, and we should have it out to you by the end of the week. So I'm going to not really report out on a lot today, but I would encourage you to take a look at that data. It's very impressive, and it also is pretty evident that we have a lot of need here in Oswego County. I just heard a story in terms of us talking about all the heat that comes through all at once is the winter months. And it was about someone who may or may not, I don't know, deserve the heat funding, but there is always, in every system, a small percentage of folk who find a way to receive what they really don't need or are eligible for. But I want to assure you that what we see at DSS is that the vast majority of benefits issued to people are the neediest of the needy, the poorest of the poor, and are very much deserving of our health systems. So I just want to give you that assurance. And I want to thank Legislator Krasick for come on down to DSS. I don't know if you want to give a brief report out on your experience with us.
Well, we planned on an hour, and Isabel took almost 3. Not a wise idea to walk through that place with a dog.
Especially a cute, friendly one.
Yes. People were thrilled with that.
We took cookies,
Yes.
and I understood before I even asked where they were, there was a line at the kitchen to get them. So,
After you left, I put an email out saying the cookies in the kitchen were from you, and I got all these, oh, tell them thank you, thank you, thank you. So I don't remember all of them, but thank you.
I think they went pretty fast.
Yeah, they did.
It was 140 cookies. I really enjoyed it because I haven't been out there in quite a few years. As we talked on our tour, last time I was out there, you had the sliding racks for files and that. We used to meet upstairs, this committee, every now and then, which I thought was a valuable thing to do. Kept us in touch, if not consistently, but once or twice a year. You know, I had a great visit. I had the opportunity to thank people for what they do. I think they really appreciated that. Not get any negative feedback to me at all, face to face. I don't know what the end result of it was. I do encourage everyone to do that. I do think, into my own personal belief, I know it's difficult for this county, but we should have a way that committees do meet at some of these locations. I think it'd be nice to have one. Health department, it'd be nice to have one out there. Highway used to go out to highway. Because it does keep you in touch. And then I went back out there the next day with my other hat, and we are going to be advising on how to put a ramp on the building. And one of the major concerns, which I have no problems mentioning to this committee, is I was absolutely amazed we did not have push-button doors on that building. And there are a lot of people that use crutches, canes, wheelchairs, and we need to fix it. That's just, you all know me. I'm gonna push it. But it needs to be done because it's the right thing to do. And I think the ramp would be a challenge, but you have some great ideas. Who was with you? I forget his name.
John.
John had some great ideas. And it will be a capital project, but again, it is something that is needed. The parking lot, I think once the paving gets done, that'll help with that a little bit. We talked about curb cut, talked about disabled parking needs to be moved once the ramp is constructed, so that it's an easier flow for people in and out of that building. The thing that probably shocked me the most was when I walked in, the waiting room was so full, there was about 20 people sitting on the floor. I mean, just blew me away. That was the visual.
Thanks for and bring cookies.
And then what I did want to report out on today is really Marty's expertise, and that is technology with the rollout of information today with EVA, which again will not replace a live human being able to talk to someone in need. But I thought it would be good for you to have some bit of understanding of our technology, our use of technology. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Marty.
So I wouldn't say that I have expertise in technology.
Well, our DSS system, so let's put it
I
there.
am pretty excited about what it can do to help us streamline the work that we have to do. We are constantly looking for efficiencies, ways that we can save time, make things simpler, not have to touch things multiple times, and still keep the humanity in our system. Gidget's brain works very much like that. She's always looking for streamlining ideas. We've done process exercises across the board. Things like EVA are going to have a huge impact. Within services, the Northwoods project that we continue to refine is going very well. Last summer, we contracted with them to help us kind of take a fresh look at how we're using it and what other things we could do differently so that we can maximize the impact of the tool. So Northwood came in and helped us do that, provided some training, kind of coached us with some business processes. We've revitalized a whole new team of coaches that we are now calling experts, so that they get the idea that they have to know how to use every piece of the system. And then we have a senior within services that has agreed to take on coordination of those experts because he uses that system daily. I can sit in my chair and tell people what to do, but I don't use the system because it's not my work. So it makes more sense to have somebody who uses it daily to do that. So that's working very well. We also have a new feature of Traverse that allows us to communicate with our partners through a portal. So if I have released some information that I need signed, if I need school records, if I need law enforcement records, I can, through email, send an invitation to access the portal. The caseworker can download whatever form or document they need completed. The person can go in and access it through the portal, finish it up, send it back to the caseworker, and it goes directly into the caseworker. So there's no faxing, there's no printing out, there's no emailing, there's no snail mail, none of that. As long as the other vendor is agreeable to do it. So, as with everything with Northwoods, everything's secured in AWS, which is government standard security rating. So, we're very hopeful that it can really save us a lot of time. We can also communicate with our clients this way. So if we forgot to get something signed while we were out there, we can email it to them. They can sign up on it and send it back. So that's a brand new thing that we just turned on this past week. We're also taking steps to make sure that everybody continually upgrades every time there's a new version of the software that we use, and all that was getting lost because people were missing it in their emails, and then they couldn't access things because they didn't have the right version of that. So as part of the budget, you all allowed us to hire a computer services specialist. That person is our hands-on guy in services that knows how to use every program inputs, also connections, and he can go out and make sure that people know how to do what they need to do, make sure they have the correct versions of everything that they, and just make it happen, because it's too easy to ignore email when you're super busy. You get hundreds of them every day. So that's that part of it. We also talked a little bit about Laserbeach before. So Laserbeach is another document repository where we scan records into an archive. So these records are records that we don't necessarily have to have a lot of bells and whistles on. So we don't need to have access to case management searches and all those things that Traverse gives us. So child support records, child care subsidy records, adoption records will go in there, our employee eligibility, accounting records, those can all be archived in that system. And then we can get rid of the paper and have room to put people, because we are have full staff, but we don't have enough seats for all the staff. If we rate to hire every title that we have open. So that's been my goal, is to get rid of all paper. I don't know. It'll be all done until space. Add that there. Mustard color. So we're making a lot of progress. We're spending a lot of time with IT staff trying to get them to work for what we want to have happen. With the latest upgrade to Laserbeach Rio, that may make it a lot easier for IT because they have multiple departments that use Laserbeach, and this allows them to administer it all from one place. And I have to have multiple accounts and multiple licenses to do that. And there are different levels of licenses that we can purchase. So not everybody has to have a full $450 license. You can have a $100 license, and all you're going to do is scan records and have the number related to it. So it really lets us deal with that. So I'm really grateful for all the students. They give us a lot of real possibilities for growth and ways to get maximize effort. You should also spend time with IT recently.
Oh, bookings, we already own it in our Microsoft suite.
Because yeah, yeah, technology can really help us in terms of efficiencies. You know, bookings is great, you know, and I think there's some real possibilities, but when you have more people to book than you have staff to interview, that is really our biggest pressure point, right?
Right now.
Yeah. So that's our social welfare seminars that we are really having such a hard time recruiting and retaining. So, is there anything else I should share about this single digits and vacancies? Yeah, we're at that moment. We're down to 9. Yeah. Yeah, it's encouraging. You know, what I said before, though, the caveat to that is people aren't able to come into our agency and have their, you know, it's a really heavy lift to get them trained and be able to work autonomously. And, you know, I explained to you last meeting how with our SPEEs, yeah, we were able to hire some people, and by July we were down to a 13% vacancy rate with our social welfare examiners, but then we were right back up to 22.2. I imagine we're over 25% now since we're up to 13 instead of 12. So it's around 1 out of 4.
Wasn't another one Friday.
Well, yeah. So, you know, that's our biggest pressure point right now, and it is my priority when it comes to the birth wage study and what we need to do in order to get Gidget in a position where she can manage across all the programs. So, more to come on that. But thank you all for your support, and I say if we can get out of here early, that's great. It's beautiful out there.
Questions for DSS? All right, well, thank you for your work on the EVA project and the fact that we could get them here quickly. Hopefully it's going to get through the entire legislature. I'm going to get to work on that. And we'll hopefully be a real book to the department. Okay. All right. I'll look for the appropriate motion. The motion is here. All those in favor?